Team temporary healer. I use that sometimes. 12 more wounds. Take it. And what do we use? Combat zones, don't know how they work still. Can't even place them on the ground. What's the point? Redeployment. Strong point. Supporting zone. Yeah, I don't like the zones. Every enemy killed in the frontline area increases all bonuses to combat tactics. Yeah. Ugh. First stratagem used in a turn can be used the second time. Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Relentless. We'll do awaiting orders. Every round, the first single target ability used by an ally on an arch militant gains 1 action point to that ally. I don't know. Heavy gunner. Pretty good, but it doesn't have a heavy weapon though. Close quarters training. Can use two-handed range weapon with melee range, but with a -10 penalty. The arch militant can use two-handed range weapons with a within melee range. Okay. This is pretty good. I would like to have that on Argenta and on my base character. But I'm not arch militant, aren't I? Mostly tactician. If I only knew. But I can swap that, but that's gonna take time. So I can't swap out the soldier, but I can swap out this. Anyways, we'll do that. Oh no, we don't have a two-handed weapon on this guy. Oh, well. He's badass anyways, who cares? Out of my way. Tough as steel. Hey, second sight, 75 steel mind. We'll do whatever. Heavy gunner, no martial arts. Target kick must pass toughness resistance. Well, I do have kick, so let's take that. I need to use the restroom. I'll be right back. Okay, so we talked to Nomos. Now I have that down. Let's go talk to the Lord Inquisitor. Yeah, that's the crew. Maybe... oh, we're at the wrong place here. This is where we killed people.
are bound by the blood of martyrs.
Alright. Doesn't look as murderous as last time. Pilgrims.
Know your duty.
Okay, let's see what he has to say here. Oh no, what's this? Price of humanity. God damn it. The Lord Inquisitor is engrossed in studying star system charts and reports, which are amazed on the desk like the riders for a formidable mountain range. There are shadows beneath his eyes which are ruthlessly dissecting the latest report. And his skin seems stretched taut over the bones of his skull. Without turning his head to you, Kalkasar says wearily, "Greetings, your lordship, your timing is impeccable." An aged servant with the bearing of a veteran approaches the two of you. In a precise moment, he replaces the untouched cup of cold recaf in front of the Lord Inquisitor with a new one, slightly steaming. The warrior of Fenris folds his arm on his ceramite plate chest regally and says in a dour voice, "Greetings, Inquisitor. You and I need to talk." Kalkasar bows respectfully. "Glory to the Emperor's angels of Fenris. Your words will be heeded, my lord." Henrik nods silently at Kalkasar, who responds by ever so slightly bowing his head. Last time you congratulated me on my rise to power, and now I am here to return the favor. First I am barred from entering, and now I am summoned here like a servant, an appealing way to treat a rogue trader. I offer my apologies. I have been slightly preoccupied attempting as I am to deal with dozen uprisings and 24 Xeno incursions, while also trying to convince the powers that be in the expanse to unlock their jaws from around each other's throats long enough to listen to reason. Being familiar with your extravagant mode of communication, I thought it best to delay our meeting until a time when keeping my hands off a weapon would not be so great a trial. The grey-haired servant's eye burned with vicious indignation, like an executor's pyre lit by a fanatic. Okay, so he got a bit sour. Kalkasar noticed Argenta and inclines, his head with a dignified air. "Sister, The Battle Sister's eyes gleam as the Lord Inquisitor addresses her. May your path be blessed. It is gratifying to see that the trials endured by the Expanse have failed to extinguish the flame of your fortitude. Jade touches the Aquila on her chest and drops her head in an unnecessarily deep bow. O Lordship Inquisitor, smite spear of the Imperium with the gold of faith cutting through the nebula of the Corona's Kalkasar raises a hand in warning. If I were you, Mistress Haidari, I would endeavor not to draw the Inquisition's attention to my person. I escaped from Comora, where I was held captive by Xenos. The Inquisitor raises his an eyebrow, impressed. You escaped from the Dark City, a feat that few has accomplished. Truly, I congratulate you on an exceptional performance. And now I want to even mark your triumph by telling you that the Inquisitions will, of course, be watching you very closely henceforth. I sincerely hope that your grand escape was not part of the Xenos' devious machinations. You wish to speak with the Lord Inquisitor, Ulfar? Indeed. You petitioned our aid in fighting Xenos. We split much alien blood, but the wind of battle carried me far and I lost contact with my pack. Do you know where I can seek out my brothers? The baleful howl? I'm afraid not. According to the information in my possession, they withdrew from the battle raging in the Expanse. The Lord Inquisitor's deferential tone now carries a dry edge. You lie! The baleful howl never run from battle. Ulfar's reply to the outrageous claim is surprisingly calm. Only the frosty chill of death born of his voice and carry across the room makes everyone's hair stand on end. What do you mean by withdrew? Contrary to my request to continue hunting the Xenos, they were embarked on an expedition whose objective is unknown to me. There's been no word of them since. Sounds suspicious. This is not how we wolves conduct ourselves. I can tell you no more. As you well know, your pack preferred not to report their plans and intentions to me. Albeit no match for Ulfar's tongue of ice, the coldness in Kalkasar's voice too could freeze an entire world. Why do you think they diverted their attention? I presume it was to search for Brother Ulfar. It is common knowledge how deeply Space Wolf value ties of brotherhood, far more deeply than the ties that bind them to other subjects of the Emperor. Let's see. People disappearing in the vicinity of an Inquisitor is always cause for suspicion. If this is some scheme of yours... The Inquisitors dryly interrupts the Allfather's warrior. Dare I remind you that your presence in the Expanse is not a favor to me, but the promised repayment of a debt. I was not so hasty when I returned your lost brother to Fenris. I did not demand recompense for my faithful servants who died serving him. saving him. I kept secret those details that could have damaged your honor. Why then does your gratitude taste so poisonous? The mention of Ulfar's lost brother makes him grin his teeth in anger before he falls suddenly silent. Is there any way that you can help find them? No, but I believe I know someone who is better informed, and I will name that person as soon as we finally start discussing the matter that prompted me to summon your lordship. What is the current situation in the Expanse? The cult on the Final Dawn and Drukhari raiders are vying with each other to see who can cause us the greatest turmoil. I have mobilized all the forces I can to repel the attacks, which is why we are still alive. Combined militia brigades are hunting for Xenos and guarding convoys, and expeditionary platoons under my command are crushing heretic rebellions. The situation is unstable, but I will not pretend that I was prepared for this crisis. However, we have not lost our footing yet. What has prompted the Drukhari to act so brazenly? Prisoner interrogation indicates that the incident occurred in the Dark City. What the Xenos called a disjunction, a dimensional calamity that forces them to step up their raids in real space. Their audacity speaks of their desperation, which will translate into new trials for his servants. Why has the cult of the Final Dawn become more active? The warp is raging. This baleful sign always portends change and crisis begant desperation. The most fertile ground for heresy. I believe the archenemy's servants think their time has come, or perhaps this day was marked in their profane scripture as the date of the end of existence. I will not trouble myself with further attempts to make sense of their blasphemous doctrine. They are bent on destroying us all, and so they must be destroyed. What makes you think you are capable of commanding the whole sector? Do you see a better candidate for the job? The Lord Inquisitor closes his eyes wearily for a moment. I may no longer be in the first flush of a youth. But believe me, when I say there are many things I would much rather be doing than playing constable to the Coroner's Expanse. But alas, every ruler in our sector chooses to confine their concerns to the well-being of their own holdings, whereas I alone must take care of all. You have mobilized all forces, but not House von Valancius. Are you not standing before me now, while your status remain unclear? I preferred not to requisition the resources of the von Valancius protectorate. Your people dealt with Uralon the Cruel's agents, and with Xenos raids, and that was enough for me. But now it is time to add your might and talents to the scales. But you must have an ingenious plan to save the Expanse. The glance tossed at you is like a shot from an auto pistol at point-blank range. If such a plan were to exist, information about it would be of utmost secrecy. I suggest your focus on the current strategy of putting out each fire as you encounter it. I understand. I see no need to get bogged down in the details. To apprise you of all the information I currently possess would require more time than we have. What was the dispute you and Caligos Winterscale about? His lordship deemed it more important to show off his stubbornness than to safeguard the interest of the Expanse. Stupidity of the most burdensome kind, but my sources inform me that he nevertheless has joined my efforts against the Xenos, and so I have decided to stay any sanctions for a time. What do you think he acted? Why do you think he acted that way? Your lordship has long displayed susceptibility to corrupting ideas. His loss of interest in managing his protectorate and his appetite for violence drew my notice some time ago. After a moment of hesitation, Kalkasar nods. Adds, the only question that remains unanswered is how many agents of the archenemy have infiltrated his entourage. Did you even try to discuss it with him, or did you immediately set incendia on him? The Inquisitor's jaw hardens, despite the impression I may have created. I am not a schoolmaster, obligated to rein in misbehaving rogue traders. Caligos rejected the call to fulfill his duty to the Emperor. What discussion was there to be had? I see. Rest assured that his lordship will face the consequences of his actions. Are you aware that the changes Incendia has brought on footfall? Naturally. Her lordship has done me an invaluable service by taking on the task of instilling order on the station. Though her style of leadership seemed unnecessarily brutal to me, on the whole her actions have not exceeded the bounds I set. I put an end to her dictatorship. The Lord Inquisitor does not appear aggravated at the news. As I understand, this was private confrontations between two road traders, yes? As such, I hope your house will reach a reconciliation with her lordship's heir. You have not hindered my plans. Lady Incendia purged footfall sufficiently, and I was not distracted by the need to pacify it. What help do you want from me? Frosher, if you please. The Inquisitor nods imperiously at the servant, who draws some kind of remote control from his pocket. All sounds whose sources are more than 3 meters away fade to nothing. To my chagrin, the abilities to be in 2 places at once does not number among my talents. That is why I wish for you to serve in my stead. I place such trust in very few people, you understand. You will feel what it is to walk in my shoes and attempt to compel a gaggle of quarrelsome blockheads to work together. You will reconquer Amphiarates too for me. The Inquisitor gestures to the servant and the silencing field dispersers. Frosher, another recaf. This one has gone cold. Abelard stifles a grunt of displeasure. His mutter pitched from your ears only. You will reconquer Euphrates too for me. The esteemed Lord Inquisitor has done away with all pretense of and politeness now. His orders no longer come with even the veneer of a request. So it's we're conquering for him. That's the issue here. Yeah, he's strong arming us. Point at the servant. Is he your valet or another Inquisition assassin? Why can't both be true? Forsher has been a member of my retinue for 50 Terran years and the person in my entourage who comes closest to being my confidant. Something akin to a warm smile touches the Inquisitor's lips. We had cause to be involved in many incidents whose reports have since been marked with a seal of silence. Frosher nods differentially, and on his jowled face appears an expression caught between eternal loyalty. That was the correct one. Motherly affection and righteous devotion. Motherly affection. Okay. Can you tell me more about Euphrates 2? A sacred world of the Adeptus Mechanicus, off limits to lay people. I am one of the few who do not worship the Omnissiahs to have set foot on its surface. Or rather I was. Now it was crawling with the unbelievers. The despicable word bearers attacked and captured Euphrates too. And the cult of the Final Dawn brought an entire hordes of heretics to the planet. I sent my troops to aid the explorators' forces laying siege to the world, but a rift occurred among the commanders. They need an authoritative general, and you are perfect for the role. My confidence is not misplaced, I trust. Let's see here. What matters first brought you to Euphrates 2 out of interest? An utterly transparent attempt to learn secret intelligence. I offered to make you my general, and you tried to pump me for information? Poorly done. The word bearers went there themselves. They didn't just send in their puppets. Clearly, the stakes of them are high enough. Euralon the Cruel has stirred his profane self to make a personal appearance on Euphorites too. Conrad the Voidfear. Incidentally, it also... Conrad Voidfear. Yeah, that's our family member. The heretic guy that betrayed us.